Hey guys, welcome back to Clever Boy Gaming. Another episode, I believe we're on episode 7. Feels good to be back with you guys. And let's just jump right into some game news. So today, my episode is going to focus on that new release, Grand Theft Auto, the Definitive Edition. I actually recently just picked that one up. I was super excited about it. I got it for the Switch, obviously, because I love the portability of it. So today, what I want to do is I just want to take some time to speak on how I feel about the game, my first thoughts, and we're gonna go over a few reactions that we're seeing in this on the gaming scene. I like to, when I'm reviewing a game, I like to go on Metacritic and just see where it's sitting at right now. Let's jump right into the Metacritic score for this new release. Again, this is 3 Grand Theft Auto games from Rockstar Games that are recently remastered. Not remade, but remastered. Let me get that clear. These 3 games are including the OG classic Grand Theft Auto 3. We have the awesome sequel Grand Theft Auto Vice City, and then we have the the diamond itself, which some believe may be the greatest Grand Theft Auto game up until obviously the recent one, Grand Theft Auto 5, and that video game is Grand Theft Auto San Andreas. I've played all 3 of those games since I was a kid. In one of my previous episodes, I talked about the impact of Grand Theft Auto 3 when it came out on the PlayStation 2. But again, we didn't really dive into how well the series progressed since that release. Now, the Grand Theft Auto Vice City, for me, I always thought, it was kind of the odd man out for me because the first one, the third one, I would say, was so awesome. Meanwhile, Vice City came out and it didn't necessarily feel much different in terms of just like gameplay, for me at least, because I guess, I wasn't into the whole Miami Vice thing. I'd never been to Miami. The one thing I do remember was that it did offer you the ability to ride a motorcycle, which I thought was awesome. San Andreas, that's when everything changed in regards to it just really became somewhat of an RPG, I would say. Like the character customization was so in depth that it separated itself far from the first two, put itself in its own tier. I'm actually shocked that they haven't included that in the more recent ones. They've kind of regressed on the customizables for the characters, and that actually kind of threw me off a bit. I'm not gonna lie to you. I cannot wait until they go back to something like that. I would love to have my own true character, similar to like Grand Theft Auto 5 Online. I would love for them to do that again, but with the story. I know that would be very difficult. Wow. Alright, I guess it's still very early. As of Saturday, November 13th, this Grand Theft Auto The Trilogy Definitive Edition is sitting at a 63 on Metacritic, which is very, very interesting. Now, let's see. What are some of the reviews? There are only 4 critic reviews, so obviously no one's actually reviewing it much, but let's see. JosVideos.com says, "We are once again dealing with the 3 great works from the world of video games. It is undeniable. Despite the passing years, the 3 open worlds still deliver unforgettable atmosphere and cities teeming with details. The latter precisely are as incredible as they are coherent with these passerbys to the whole, and especially these new plays of light, which sublimate the whole." See, I'm not even going to finish this because I have no idea what he's talking about. Or she. They give this a 70. And I'm just not going to listen to it. Okay, so he goes on and says something about or even the nostalgic who wish to rediscover the sensations of yesteryear while enjoying a refurbished visuals, but will disappoint those looking for more current mechanics. Okay. You know what? Hoes videos? I respect that. Let's go to gameblog.fr. Grand Theft Auto Trilogy Definitive Edition is a good way to rediscover three legendary titles. They're the same and yet different in terms of visuals, but it's not 100% good. It struggles to deliver a totally smooth experience. They feel a bit old if you talk about gameplay. Now, gameblog.fr gave this a 70. VGC says, while not the same level of technical mess as the Switch edition, the PS5 version still suffers from some hiccups that it really shouldn't. And the changes to how the characters look won't be for everyone. Okay, VGC, I respect that. Green Rant gave it a 50. Okay. I'm not going to get into that one. The user scores, wow, 1.1 after 496 ratings. Rockstaris from the user score gave it a 0. This is it. This is the end of Rockstar. This is just too much. This is unacceptable. Okay. Another 0. They banned mods, removed original games from stores. Okay. HAL2610. The original style and the aesthetics are completely lost. That one I do like. Game design and visual design are destroyed. Okay. Minder Bendness. Iconic songs cut. Weird graphical glitches. Sections of the map you can literally fall through. Cut effects like fogs and haze. Uncanny valley looking characters. Inconsistent lighting. Lazy menus. 0. This is zeros across the board. But the real reason why is because, you know, these reviews, to have 500 0 reviews or just negative reviews, to me that's not a review. You know, that's like you know, they're just banishing the thing. Cancel culture. You know what I'm saying? Now, there were a few things in there that I actually thought were spot on. Like the one where the person spoke about the design of the game, you know, changed. One thing I will say about this particular trilogy, now I want to make a disclaimer that I have not played Vice City or San Andreas yet. I personally went directly to Grand Theft Auto 3 because I wanted to feel that nostalgia, you know. So I'm gonna talk about the visuals. Obviously, that's the first thing that most people wanna talk about. This game, the way they changed up the visuals is very interesting because it almost reminds me of, you know, similar to what they were saying about the emulation. I don't know if you're familiar with that, but they were saying about the emulation for Nintendo 64 on how bringing it up to modern day expectations, you kind of eliminate the things that made it what it was at the time, like things like the fog that you wouldn't be able to see far in the distance in Zelda Ocarina of Time, is now gone. So essentially, you're seeing the raw bone data from the old generation video games, and that is kind of what at times you see in this Grand Theft Auto remaster. It has an identity crisis because I'm not joking. There are times where you're driving in the city in GTA 3 in this remaster, and you almost feel like you're driving in the PS5 Grand Theft Auto 5 game. You know, it's weird. Like, you'll be driving, the cars look good. It's really hard to explain, but that person said it perfectly. The original design of the game is gone. You know what I mean? Like, it lost a little bit. Now, I say that to say this. This is to me probably, the best way to play the game. It looks like you're playing a modern day GTA game. The cars look good. The sounds are good. The city does feel alive. What kind of does put a damper on the visuals is at times the gameplay. Now, the gameplay also has that feeling of, okay, it feels modern, but at the same time, it doesn't feel like placed correctly. The driving, like, you know, when you're driving, the controls are modernized. You have the R2 and L2, but at the same time, the car doesn't move in a modernized way. And what bothers me so much is like, you know, it almost reveals itself to be what it was, which is just like a circus driving situation. Like you can't get a nice car and drive in GTA 3 without getting rammed by another car, the AI. You know what I'm saying? Like it's like the AI is showing itself to be dated. They're turning when they shouldn't, so you can see the programming in the game that okay, as soon as you get there, this car is made to make a left and crash right into you for no reason. It's fun, but it does kind of reveal itself to be what it really is. Like it's so strange. You rarely get an experience like this, because there is no other thing like Grand Theft Auto. So to see these games come back modernized to a way, it's almost like seeing an ex, and now you just got to make your decision like, oh, did I like this person really, or what did I like about them? Yes, it works. It works. Everything that we say just far, the gameplay, the visuals, as weird as it sounds, as wonky as it is every bit of a GTA game. There's some beautiful things about the original Grand Theft Auto 3 that comes out in this remaster experience. Just the simplicity of the story, like the character, he doesn't speak. They kind of throw you in. There isn't much of a prelude. You remember the first time, they told you to just go about in the city. You remember that. The map itself is every bit as good as it was. Like you're driving through the city, it still feels endless. They didn't add anything to the map. That was the original map that it came with. Just how the core gameplay just aged, well. Like the cars, the stealing feels good. The cops are brutal in these old video games. The cops in GTA 3 are quick to get on you, man. Quick to get on you. I know we're seeing a lot of these reviews here talking bad about it, but I do want to just say that it really isn't nearly as bad as a lot of people are saying. I mean, just alone to be able to play GTA on my Switch, these are just every bit as quality as they once were, in scope. I haven't even touched Vice City or San Andreas. I believe that as soon as I see what they did for GTA 3, it's only going to get better for the next two games. That's why I felt confident to make a quick video about how I did feel about this trilogy thus far. If you haven't played any of the GTAs, it's going to be interesting coming back to these games. But I will say this. You will admire where these games came from. It'll be somewhat similar to playing a PSP game, after playing the PS5 version. You'll see how limited it is, but you'll see the genius. I mean, these are three amazing games, and Rockstar really put a lot of effort in this. I know as much as it seems people are saying they haven't put much effort, when you're playing these games, these are modern day versions. You'll never see a better version of these games, I believe. You know, it's so respectful for Rockstar to have done this. The music that are in these games are still just genuine. I mean, you're living in time, in a time capsule when you're just playing these games. I'm not 100% sure on which songs are missing and which aren't. You're able to just sit in your car and play some quality radio stations, you know? And the information, the jokes, they aren't as dated as you'd expect. You know, you still have a good time just listening to what they are talking about in the world. Yeah, but they're really putting the lock and key on this. I think they completely want to erase the existence of the previous games just so they can keep up a level of image, as they move forward with the series. I think because when you look at these games, they look like they do belong with the Grand Theft Auto 5. Like they just look like twin sisters. And I think they're taking this very seriously. I think this is what they want their games to be represented as. This looks like a quality PC game from the early, I wouldn't say maybe 2010 maybe. Like I would love to hear what you guys think because after reading these customer reviews, I'm a bit concerned that I might be the only person on earth enjoying these. So feel free to let me know what you think about these in the comment section. And again, I would really appreciate it if you guys hit the like button or dislike. Actually, they took that dislike off. So hit the like button. Show me some love. If you haven't subscribed already, please go ahead. And I will talk to you guys on the next episode, okay? Thank you for watching.